Welcome to Release Readiness Live. I'm Christy Moscoso, your Release Readiness champion. We are broadcasting from our home studios all of this week to share some new features in the Winter 21 release. After our product team shares the highlights, we'll spend some time taking questions on air. We will be monitoring both the Release Readiness Trailblazer community and Twitter, so post your questions as soon as you think of them with the hashtag Salesforce Live. I recommend posting your longer, more detailed questions in the community where the conversation can continue after this webcast. If we don't get to your questions on air, we'll be sure to follow up with you within a few days. All of our webcasts will be available on the Salesforce Live website for later viewing. And since we may be covering roadmap, we will be making some forward-looking statements, so please make your purchasing decisions based on currently available functionality. Now let's get started with communities and B2C commerce and meet our product managers.
Thank you, Christina. I'm Adam Wagle, one of the product leads for communities and B2B commerce. Thrilled to share our latest product innovations in the Winter 21 release with you. Let's take it away. The headline news for the Winter 21 release is that Community Cloud is now Experience Cloud. Experience Cloud is built on the world's #1 CRM and empowers brands of all sizes to maximize their return on experience by enabling them to quickly build pixel-perfect websites, portals, forums, help centers, commerce storefronts, and mobile apps. We are focused on 4 areas of innovation. The first area is building apps across the entire customer journey. Second is Experience Builder and personalization to quickly build these apps. Third is content management, also known as CMS. And fourth is availability, security, performance scale, SEO, and accessibility. For the Winter 21 release, we've delivered a ton of innovation across all 4 of these product areas. On the apps front, we've launched a number of new B2B commerce storefront features. On the personalization front, we now have records-based personalization, which we'll demo shortly. For content management, we've launched CMS content folders and a number of additional features that we'll demo today. And on the scale front, we now support high-scale delivery of headless content using our out-of-the-box CDN partner, Akamai. Brands can also bring their own CDN and customize it to fit with Salesforce CMS. In Winter 21, we're launching out-of-the-box integration with Lightning Email Builder for Pardot. This means that you can easily create a piece of content in Salesforce CMS and then display this piece of content in Pardot emails, as well as in websites, forums, portals, storefronts, help centers, and mobile apps built with Experience Builder. On the apps front, we've launched a number of new features for B2B commerce, including guest user access, which is pilot in Winter 21, ProductVariants, which is also pilot in Winter 21, and a new pricing workspace, all of which we'll demo shortly. We've also greatly enhanced the ability to personalize the site experience by giving you the ability to personalize record detail pages using the value fields on the record, also known as record-based personalization. Furthermore, you can also now display knowledge articles in CRM-based CMS collections. This has been a huge customer request, and we're thrilled to deliver knowledge articles in CMS collections in Winter 21. Now let's show you a demo of these new features in action. Our first demo is from the perspective of an end user, Lauren Boyle. Lauren is the proud owner of a chain of gourmet coffee shops. She logs into her Gmail account and sees a Pardot email personalized just for her. She sees a beautiful piece of Salesforce CMS content promoting the new Capricorn Coffee Testarossa Espresso machine, the fastest coffee machine yet. She scrolls down her email to read about this amazing machine. She sees 2 calls to action. One call to action at the bottom of the email is to download the Capricorn Coffee mobile app that was built using Salesforce Mobile Publisher. We've seen strong adoption of Salesforce Mobile Publisher due to the huge demand from all of you wanting to quickly build mobile apps for your customers and partners. Salesforce Mobile Publisher makes it fast and easy to take any digital experience that you've built using our Experience Builder and publish the experience to the Google Play and Apple App Stores. Above the mobile publisher call to action, Lauren sees a big blue button to learn more about the Testarossa espresso machine. This is Capricorn's fastest machine yet, and Lauren knows that time is money in the coffee business. She's super interested to learn more, so she clicks the Learn More button. She's automatically directed to the Capricorn Coffee B2B Commerce storefront. In Winter 21, a new feature we're launching that we mentioned before is Guest User Access, which is pilot in Winter 21. Guest User Access enables a guest user, also known as an unauthenticated user, to search and browse the product catalog and to view products without logging in. We've also enabled SEO for guest user access so that a user can discover the storefront via Google search. Lauren scrolls down the page and she sees the same Salesforce CMS banner that she viewed in her email inbox. What is really powerful about Salesforce CMS is that the marketer can create the banner once and display it in both the Pardot email and in the B2B Commerce storefront experience. When the marketer updates the CMS banner in Salesforce CMS, the new version of the banner will automatically appear in email, in the B2B Commerce storefront, and everywhere else that the banner is displayed. Lauren then clicks on the banner. She is taken to the product detail page for the Testarossa coffee machine, and she scrolls down the page. At the bottom of the page, she sees knowledge articles displayed in a CMS collection, which is a brand new feature for Winter 21. She also sees that these articles have been personalized for the product detail page. All knowledge articles displayed in the CMS collection component have the word maintenance in the title. This personalization is made possible by a second new feature in Winter 21, which is the ability to personalize record detail pages using the values of fields on the record, also known as record-based personalization. Lauren then scrolls back up to the top of the product detail page. She decides to purchase 10 of these amazing coffee machines for her chain of gourmet coffee shops. She enters the quantity equal to 10. She then clicks the Add to Cart button. Lauren is then prompted to create an account or log in if she already has one. Fortunately for this demo, Lauren already has an account, so she enters her username and password and clicks the Login button. She is then authenticated and adds 10 Testarossa coffee machines to her cart. Lauren then wants to buy some coffee beans for her chain of coffee shops as well. So she clicks in the search box and types coffee. Commerce Search suggests the search term via Einstein Search type ahead, which is pilot in Winter 21. Lauren clicks on coffee beans. She then sees the search results. She scrolls down the page. She sees the splendid Sumatran coffee beans. These are the beans that many of her customers have been raving about. She clicks on the beans to see the product detail page. Yep, these are those amazing beans. She scrolls down to see knowledge articles displayed in CMS collections. This is the same new for Winter 21 feature that we mentioned previously, the ability to display knowledge articles in CMS collections. And thanks to record-based personalization, which is also new for Winter 21, all of these knowledge articles for this product detail page are related to beans. Lauren scrolls back up to the top of the product detail page. She now sees yet another new feature in Winter 21, ProductVariants. ProductVariants enables you to display multiple variations of a product on a single product detail page, such as the size, color, weight, and type of material of the product. Lauren clicks on the grind attribute to determine how coarse or fine a grind she wants for her coffee beans. She sees all of the variations for the grind attribute. She selects whole bean since she likes to grind the beans at her stores, which helps the beans retain their full flavor as long as possible. Next, Lauren wants to determine what size of coffee beans she wants to buy. She clicks on the bag size attribute, and she wants as large a bag as possible for her retail coffee shops. So she selects the 32-ounce bulk bag. She is now ready to select the quantity of bags. Because she's confident that these coffee beans will fly off the shelves, she decides to order 100 bags. So she updates the quantity to 100. She then clicks the Add to Cart button and adds the bags to her cart. She then clicks the View Cart button to view the line items in her cart. The cart looks almost complete, but there's one more item that has been on Lauren's wish list for quite a while. So she clicks on her profile drop-down menu and selects Lists. Here she sees all of the lists that she's created. New for Winter 21 is the ability to rename lists and delete lists. In Winter 21, buyers can also move all the items from their cart to a list. She clicks on LB's wish list. She views the items in her wish list. Lauren has been wanting this Capricorn 120-volt 3-pound grinder for quite a while. While it's expensive, it would really help grind coffee beans quickly and enable her to serve her customers faster than ever before. She decides to purchase it today and clicks Add to Cart. She is done shopping, and so she clicks View Cart. She views the items in her cart and then clicks Proceed to Checkout. She reviews the shipping address, which looks good. She wants to make sure that the delivery driver rings the doorbell upon arrival, so she adds this note to the delivery instructions field. She clicks Next. She reviews her payment method. In this case, she'll pay via a purchase order, so she enters the purchase order number, which is 171212. She then clicks Submit Payment. And boom, her order is complete. She clicks View My Order to view the details of the order that she just placed. And for Winter 21, we've enhanced this order detail summary page. The enhanced order summary detail page now shows the product variants and the product images, along with additional order information. The final feature we want to highlight in Winter 21 is External Managed Accounts. External Managed Accounts enables an external user like Lauren Boyle to delegate admin capabilities to other external users who reside in another account. So to demo this feature, we'll have Lauren Boyle switch accounts by clicking on her profile to see the drop-down menu. She clicks on Switch Accounts, and for this demo, Central Perk Coffee has a subsidiary in Bellevue called North Coast Coffee. So Lauren switches accounts from Central Perk Coffee to North Coast Coffee by clicking on North Coast Coffee. Lauren is now logged into the North Coast Coffee account. North Coast Coffee just hired a new store manager, Arthur, and Lauren wants to grant Arthur the permissions he will need to manage other users in the North Coast Coffee account. From the North Coast Coffee account, she clicks on her profile drop-down menu. She then clicks on the account management option. From the account management screen, she can add members by clicking on a particular user, in this case, Arthur. She can also deactivate members, edit members, reset their passwords, and manage their permissions. Lauren clicks on Manage Permissions. She then clicks on the right arrow to give Arthur the permission to manage other users. She clicks Save to save these permissions, and boom, we receive a confirmation that the permission assignments were saved. We're now going to show you how we built this. Neil, take it away.
Hello everyone, I'm Neil Hayek, a product manager focused on the content management side of Salesforce CMS. I'm excited to show you some of the features which made Adam's demo possible. Here's an overview of what to expect. We started by showing you an email which was authored with the new Pardot Lightning Email Builder. Adam already talked about this feature, but I'm about to show you it in a demo. This new builder is integrated with Salesforce CMS to allow you to select images managed within the CMS. A new feature which made the email integration possible is the ability to serve CMS content from a content delivery network. You can either bring your own CDN or use one we provide through our partner Akamai to access your content at high scale and with the fastest delivery speed. Some enhancements we made on the content authoring side are the ability to organize your content within folders, the ability to filter content by its type, and the ability to bulk import images or documents into Salesforce CMS. I'll also be showing you enhancements to our Experience Builder. Already mentioned is the ability to personalize record pages based on standard or custom fields on the record. Also mentioned is enabling knowledge articles to be presented using the CMS Collections component. Something you didn't see demoed is the ability to create nested pages, which leads to nested URLs for your website. Also, we've improved search engine optimization for commerce sites by enabling product and category pages to directly show up in search results. With that, let's start the demo. We'll start by showing you how that banner was used for emails and on the website. We begin in the Salesforce CMS app as Eric Ware, a marketing manager for Capricorn Coffee. This is the workspace for Capricorn Coffee's B2B operations. A workspace provides a way to organize your content. You can control who has permission to author content in a workspace, as well as which channels you want to make the published content available to. New to our Winter 21 release is the ability to organize your content within folders. When you choose to create new content, it will get created in the folder you're viewing. You can also select existing content and choose to move them into folders. We've also introduced the ability to filter by content type. Currently, you see a variety of content types displayed in this list, such as banners, documents, and images. Let me filter to just images. The filter persists as I navigate through folders. If I click into the Testarossa folder, you can see the banner which was used in the email and on the website. Also new in this release is the ability to import images to be stored within Salesforce. In our current release, we introduced the ability to import content, including images. However, we only supported images referencing an external URL, such as one stored within a digital asset management system. Now you can include images within the zip file when you import, and they'll be uploaded to Salesforce CMS. I mentioned a workspace controls which channels the content is available in. If we view which channels this workspace is serving, we can see it is available to the Capricorn B2B website as well as a public channel for emails. Public channels are another new feature in Winter 21. When you choose to create a new channel, you'll see the option for a public channel. Public channels allow users to access content without requiring authentication. You can see why this is well suited for emails, but you could also access content through our APIs while building a website or a custom application using any technology of your choice. In addition, content on a public channel can be served using a content delivery network. You can either use your own CDN or use one we provide through our partner Akamai. You've seen where the content is managed. Now let me show you how you can use it within an email. This is the email template for the email you saw earlier. Email templates have been around for years, but new in this release is the ability for Pardot customers to edit these email templates in Lightning. When I click to edit this template in the builder, you'll see an email builder which is similar to the page builder in Lightning. The builder works by allowing you to add and arrange a set of components within the template. As you can see, this template is using image and rich text components. For the image component, when I choose to add an image, you see the option to select from Salesforce CMS. When I choose it, you'll see our content selector. This component automatically filters to only showing images because that is what is expected by the component. When I click into the Testarossa folder, I see the banner which is already selected for this template. In addition to the image component, you can also select images from Salesforce CMS in the rich text component or while setting a background image for your email. Now let me show you how the banner was used on the website. This is our experience builder used for creating websites. Similar to the email builder, it allows you to add and arrange components on a page. These components represent most of the functionality across Salesforce, and you also have the ability to create custom components or get components from our App Exchange. In addition to components, the Experience Builder allows you to control the theme of your website, create pages, and personalize those pages to different audiences. Adding the banner to our site involved adding a CMS component to the page and mapping it to our banner. As you can see in the component details, this component is already mapped to the Testarossa banner. So far, you've seen where content is managed within Salesforce CMS, you've seen it made available to our email and website channels, and you've seen how our builders offer a WYSIWYG experience to let you use the content. Now I want to show you a couple new features used to create the product detail page. First, I'll show you record-based personalization, which enabled me to display knowledge articles relevant to the product. For a product page, notice I have a page variation for espresso machines. Page variations provide a way to display different pages for different situations. When I choose to view the assignment for this page variation, you can see the current criteria is for a record of type product, and it's checking if the product is a machine. Previously, you could personalize based on the user record. Now you can personalize almost any record page using the standard and custom fields for that record. If I select the product record, you see a list of its fields available which you can select to match criteria of your choosing. Consider uses to personalize cases for your customer service community or accounts for your partner portal. Now, the reason for this personalization is to display the knowledge articles appropriate to coffee and espresso machines. This is another CMS component which represents a collection of records. Previously, you could include most standard records and custom objects in a collection, but you couldn't include knowledge articles until now. After adding the collection component to the page, now knowledge is available as a type of collection. As you can see, they are already selected. What the CMS component provides is a declarative tool to control the presentation of your knowledge articles. With just a few clicks, you can completely change the look of the content. For example, I could change this to only show 2 articles in a row with the View More button, or I could change the presentation to a carousel. There are many styling options available to this component, and I'd encourage you to play around with it if you haven't. Now for the features which weren't demoed. The first is the ability to nest pages. This doesn't just offer better organization within the builder, but it enables you to have nested URLs for your website. In this example, you can see a page for support with subpages for Contact Us and the FAQ. This will translate to a URL such as capricorncoffee.com/support/contact us. Previously, you could only control the URL one level deep for standard pages. The next feature is search engine optimization enhancements to support guest user browsing of your commerce site. When guest browsing is enabled, the store sitemap will include category and product detail pages, allowing guest users to find products on your site through a search engine. We also have search engine optimized product URLs to improve their listing within searches. Now that I've shown you how this was built using Salesforce CMS, I'm going to hand it over to Paul, who will show you how it was built using Lightning B2B Commerce.
Thanks, Neil. I'm Paul Chong, a product manager on Experience Cloud, and I have the pleasure of working with Adam and Neil, and my main focus area is commerce search and content discovery. Right, shall we dive into the slides then? Before showing you some of the exciting innovations we've built for the admin user in Winter 21, I want to quickly recap on the new sharing model we introduced for guest users last year. Trust is our #1 value here at Salesforce, and keeping your data safe is our top priority. Now, this is especially important when we're talking about guest users. In our last release, we introduced stricter object access for guest users. Specifically, their org-wide default access is now set to private. Also, any new records created by guest users will be reassigned to the community's default owner. These security enhancements were auto-enabled in Summer 20, though an opt-out was available. In Winter 21, these changes will be mandatory for everyone. Another update on guest user security is to their object permissions. Here, we will disable edit and delete access on all standard and custom objects for guest users. View all and modify all access will also be disabled. Although you can opt out of this change in Winter 21, it will be mandatory in Spring 21, so please be prepared. If you think these changes will impact your community site, then please visit the Trailblazer community and sign up for an office hours session with one of our team. It's our priority to ensure you're ready for this update. Now, over to our new features designed for the admin user. Let's start with enhancements for B2B commerce. In Adam's demo, you saw how guest users can now browse and search your store. And in a moment, I'll show you how simple it is to set this up. You also saw
how product variants can be used to structure a clean buyer experience. I'll show you the greater flexibility available in configuring your products. And lastly, you'll see how we've enhanced the admin's ability to set and customize prices in your store with the release of the pricing workspace in the Commerce app. Let's dive in. We're now logged in as the Commerce admin, and we're looking at the Commerce app. This is the place to set up your catalog and configure your store settings. When we select a store, any changes we make are now in the context of that store. We can configure the design of the store in Experience Builder, which you'll see in a minute, and we can also set who has access to the store. A moment ago, Adam showed you how we've enabled guest access for your B2B store. Turning on this feature is as simple as following the step-by-step instructions. Once you've turned on the feature and set up the right object permissions for your guest user profile, you can then select which products guest users are able to search and browse. As mentioned above, this feature is currently in pilot, so please contact your Salesforce rep to get it enabled on your org. Another exciting feature available in pilot in Winter 21 is ProductVariants. With ProductVariants, you have more flexibility in how you structure and sell your products. We've all experienced ProductVariants when shopping online, but may not recognize them by that name. Think of a product variant as a product SKU that's essentially identical to another product, but differs on one or more variant attribute. In Winter 21, you can define variant attributes by creating custom fields on the product attribute entity. Because new attributes are defined as custom fields on the product attribute entity, you have the ability to create dozens of distinct attributes for each of your stores. Here, we've created variant attributes for bag size and grind. When buying a bag of coffee, you can choose to buy it in a different bag or grind size. The type of coffee might be the parent product, while the specific bag size is a variant product. This is important because you may want different product types to have different behaviors. For example, you may not want parent products to be orderable or searchable in your store. Or you might want all variant products to use the same image as the parent product. Once you've defined your attributes, the next step is to create your attribute sets. Attribute sets make it easy to assign attributes to a specific collection of products. For example, all coffee bean products have two attributes in common: bag size and grind. Here, we've created an attribute set with these two attributes that can now be assigned to all coffee bean products. When you're finished setting up your attributes and attribute sets, you can then go to Product Workspace to create parent and variant products. When we click in on a parent product, you can see how much flexibility you now have to structure your products in an intuitive way for your buyers. Another new and exciting feature in Winter 21 is the Pricing Workspace. Our goal with this feature is to make your life as the commerce admin easier and more productive. The Pricing Workspace is a centralized hub where you can get a complete understanding of your pricing strategy by viewing all price books or price book entries all at the same time. For example, say you want to identify all of the price book entries that belong to a specific store. You can do this by narrowing down your list with a few clicks so that it's now filtered based only on your criteria. Or say you want to perform bulk actions to update the discount applied to multiple price book entries. Again, this is as simple as selecting the price book entries you want to update, then applying the discount percentage in a bulk action. The benefit is that you can be more efficient in updating your prices, and you can easily troubleshoot why one price is showing up when you expected to see another price. Did you know that over 90% of Fortune 500 companies use a Salesforce app from our App Exchange? This highlights the importance of our partner ecosystem. Although B2B Commerce Lightning Experience only went live last release, we already have over a dozen packages developed by partners on our App Exchange. These include third-party services like tax calculation, payments, or shipping charges. Previously, when you set up a storefront, you would need to manually assign an integration to that storefront via Workbench. Now, with the Integrations Mapping Hub, you can set up different integrations per store using clicks, not code, increasing the speed of deployment. A moment ago, Adam showed you the shiny new order detail page. And here's how we set it up behind the scenes. To highlight the updates, I'll show you the old component first, then I'll show you the new components. We can then play Spot the Difference. Here's the old page. You've given us feedback on the old components, such as limitations around having fixed labels, being unable to configure which fields are displayed, as well as shipping fees being added as line items in your invoice. Now here's the new page, fully configurable. Reorder button is independent from the summary, fully mobile responsive, and product images and variants are also clearly displayed. The last new feature we have time for is the external account management capability. Now your delegated external admin users can manage users in other accounts. This is a popular use case for channel management and B2B commerce sites. For example, if your national franchise partner wants to manage users in a regional franchise account, or your reseller partner wants to manage users in their distributor partner account, these are now all possible with external account management. The applications are broad and endless. The best part is how easy it is to set this up. Previously, to enable this capability, you would need to create a different login for every account you want the delegated external admin to manage. Now, it's as simple as creating a new record for that user pointing to their target account. Then you can specify which permissions they can manage. What you've just seen are new features and innovation across the board. Adam showed you the new ability to display knowledge articles and CMS collections and personalize experiences based on record-based criteria. Neil showcased the huge improvements to scale, performance, and availability. He also explained how Salesforce's native CMS has matured through Pardot email integrations and folder and file support. And lastly, I walked you through the improvements targeted at making your setup experience faster and simpler through ProductVariants, pricing Workspace, and external managed accounts.
And that's it from me. Now, over to Christina for some questions.
Thank you. So many great features. I can't wait to dive into these questions. We've already got some of you asking some great questions on both the community and Twitter. And again, just a reminder, the faster you get your questions in there, the more likely we are to actually get to them live today. And if we don't get to them live, don't worry, we will follow up in the next few days on the community or Twitter. So definitely still ask your questions. Let's go ahead and dive in. Adam, Paul, Neil, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it.
Awesome. This first question, I think, Neil, would be a good one for you. Will content be able to connect with Salesforce Marketing Cloud? I hear Pardot mentioned, but not Marketing Cloud.
Great question. So yes, as mentioned, the Pardot aspect is what's coming in winter. So as far as Marketing Cloud, such as which was ExactTarget, we're working with their product team to determine when we could have an out-of-the-box integration. Honestly, my best guess is that it's going to happen next year. I can't say more specifically which release. Not entirely up to me to control which release, after all. But some good news on that front. Previously, and we actually demoed this last Dreamforce, if you wanted to use your content on Marketing Cloud, you're able to kind of synchronize it by pulling it out of CMS and pushing it into the content builder, essentially a copy. However, with this winter release, where we introduced CDN for serving your content, you no longer would need to make a copy of the content. It would still be a bit of a custom integration, but you could then reference the content served from CMS. And the benefit there is that if there's any changes to the content in the CMS side, it would automatically take place on the marketing side. I believe we're working on a dev blog actually to show how you could set up such synchronization and usage.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah. Another question we got in, is there a Salesforce CPQ support in Salesforce B2B commerce?
Adam, would that be better for you?
Yeah, I'm happy to take it. We don't currently have integration with B2B Commerce Lightning and CPQ support. That is a common request. We do have integration between B2B Commerce, the cloud craze version, and CPQ, but not the new Lightning version yet. So that is something that we're investigating.
Awesome. So you know about it, you're looking into it, maybe in the future, everyone.
Yes.
Now, Patrick is asking, have there been any improvements to deploying communities as metadata using modern source-based development tools? So experience bundle, scratch orgs, source tracking and sandboxes, etc. Currently, we cannot capture and deploy even simple changes to a community. Do you have anything you can tell Patrick?
I can take a shot at that, Patrick. That's a great question, and we can follow up with more details offline. There's nothing new targeted at that specific, to your question in this current release. Obviously, we've done a fair amount in the last couple of releases, but in this current release, there's nothing specific that I think would address your question. But let's follow up offline, and then with any more details.
That's great. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, sounds like none winter 21, but maybe there's something else we can give you there. Our next question comes to us from Shane. For communities, the ability to manage external users, does this work if you have community but not B2B commerce?
Yeah, I can take that one. Great question, Shane. Yes, it does work for communities. In fact, we think of it as being a platform feature that is for customer portals, for partner PRM communities, partner communities, as well as B2B commerce. The main requirement here is just making sure that you have the right licenses. So, we're talking about named user licenses such as, Customer Community Plus, Partner Community, as well as Lightning External Apps Plus. But unfortunately, some of the larger, the high volume licenses, unfortunately, those do not support, external managed accounts.
Thanks, Paul. Adam, we're wondering, do you support guest user checkout in winter 21?
Guest user checkout, we don't currently support in winter 21. What we do now support from a guest user standpoint for B2B commerce is the ability to search and browse products in the product catalog. But we don't currently support a guest cart or guest checkout in winter. That is something in our roadmap, hopefully for next year, Safe Harbor, of course.
Oh, that's exciting. Another question for you, Adam. Why did you rebrand Community Cloud to Experience Cloud? I know a lot of people are probably wondering that.
Yeah, many of you probably saw the headline news yesterday that Community Cloud is now Experience Cloud. And the rationale was when we first built communities, it was really for that peer-to-peer forums use case. So we built peer-to-peer forums, and the product line grew enough where we became a cloud at Salesforce and naturally became known as Community Cloud. And then since then, over the past several years, customers have really asked us to support use cases well beyond peer-to-peer forums, to be able to support their need to build websites and customer portals and PRM experiences, B2B commerce experiences, help centers, the list goes on. And so the feedback from customers recently was, your name Community Cloud really just reflects that peer-to-peer forums use case, but the number of use cases you support has really become our platform for developing all digital experiences. And so that really was the reason behind the name change, to really better represent our customer support at this point, which is really broad across all digital experiences. Hence, welcome to Experience Cloud.
I love that. I was actually curious about that myself, and it sounds like it's just a natural, expansion of things. Neil, what clouds does Salesforce CMS integrate with?
So currently we have integration with B2B Lightning Commerce, which is part of Experience Cloud, interestingly. Experience Cloud, Commerce Cloud. We do have Commerce Cloud Demandware integration as well. And then as mentioned, we do have integration with Pardot. Also due to the earlier question asking about the other side of marketing emails through ExactTarget, that is planned. That's probably going to be the next integration I foresee coming.
Oh, that's great. And just as a reminder, this Friday, we actually have, so tomorrow, we have our Pardot session. So make sure you tune into that as well. A question from Shane: for communities, the ability to manage external users, does this work if you have Community Cloud but not B2B commerce?
Oh, I think we may have just covered that one.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
But hey, Shane, if you've got any more questions, please keep them coming.
Yeah, so the answer, I mean, just to be clear, the answer is yes. It works with any of the named user licenses that that Paul mentioned beyond B2B commerce. So it is really a Experience Cloud functionality for any named user license, including Customer Community Plus, Partner Community, external apps, and B2B commerce.
Got it. How many product variations do you support for B2B commerce?
Yeah, I can take that. So I guess, so theoretically, you can have hundreds of thousands of products per catalog, and the majority of those could be variant products. So the way I interpret that question is really around like, what are the scale limitations around how you define product variants? And so the way to think about that is that there's really two main parts of the product variant. There's like the attribute set and the attributes. And so we mentioned like, a moment ago, like in the demo, there's actually 100 different, each org can have up to 100 attribute sets. So the example that we provided was like, you have an attribute set for say coffee beans, or we have like, different attributes such as, grind, bag size, and so forth. So you can have up to 100 of those. So you can have like an attribute set for say coffee beans, for coffee machines, for grinders, so forth. And any given attribute set can have up to 5 attributes. Okay, so an example of that, once again with the coffee beans, is that you'd have, grind as being one attribute. You might have, caffeination as being another, and you can have up to 3 others. So it's basically 5. So once again, let's recap. So the limitation around defining attributes in variants really is about 100 attribute sets per an org, and any given attribute set can have 5 attributes.
Okay. Neil, what happens to content on the CDN if it gets updated or deleted?
Good question. So when the content is served from our CDN, whether it's through a website, such as from Experience Cloud, or through an email, such as through Pardot, we check, it's essentially cached, and every hour we check if it's been updated. So all in all, it'll, within an hour, could be minutes, depending on when it last checked, but within an hour, if you made an update, it'll be reflected in those locations. If you were to remove it or delete it, then again, within an hour, it'll no longer be accessible.
That makes sense. Let's give our Twitter users some love. Randy asks, can you review what features are only available in community? It's hard to figure out what's B2B only versus community. So anything you could give us there?
I can take a first pass, and then Paul, you can fill in details. So the way to think about it, especially now that B2B commerce is in communities or in the Experience Cloud, if you will, I think of B2B commerce as a use case within Experience Cloud. And so Experience Cloud has a ton of functionality, the ability to build sites using Experience Builder through pages and components. And B2B commerce essentially adds commerce-related functionality to Experience Cloud. So over the past year, as our team, many of the folks on this call, built B2B commerce, we essentially created like a native cart object in Salesforce and native checkout flows that now are additional objects and pages and components that surface as part of Experience Cloud. And if you want to use B2B commerce, you essentially buy the B2B commerce SKU, which gives you access to those objects. So in the same way, like the magic of our PRM SKU is around leads and opportunities, being able to surface those objects to your partners, think of B2B commerce as a way to surface commerce-related objects to your customers through this digital experience platform.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Paul, anything to add there?
Yeah. If I could just build on that, I think that's a great question, because I think what it highlights is also maybe the need on our side to be a little bit clearer on like the distinction between, say, B2B commerce versus community, or Experience Cloud now.
Yeah.
And so for the purposes of what you just saw, the big things that are going to be on the commerce only, there were the things like, product variants, they're like guest browsing for a storefront, pricing workspaces, the order detail page. These are the things that are very commerce specific and will only be available with a commerce license. But the things that, say, Neil was talking about, including, like the knowledge-based, record-based targeting, knowledge, and the CMS collections, all the CDN and caching performance, all of that's all going to be available across the experience platform. So that's Community Cloud as well as B2B commerce.
Awesome. And we actually have a roadmap question for CMS for whoever wants to take this one. Will CMS support a native blog content type anytime soon? That's for Jonathan.
We don't plan for a native blog, but we actually, we have a developer's blog. We can follow up on getting you that link. In our developer blog, we actually have a full sample, which you could copy and paste for how to create a blog content type. You could, of course, modify it to your needs, changing naming, etc. But the news out of the box one could be used for blogs. This example one I'm referring to has the ability to add additional images, for example, not just one image, but perhaps multiple, as well as other fields appropriate for blogs. So I could certainly help follow up and help you get that created.
Let's do it. Yeah. Neil, Jonathan posted that on the community. So yeah, whenever you get the chance, go ahead and provide that link.
All right.
Another Twitter question, how do you build websites on Experience Cloud? This seems new.
Yes. Sorry, Neil, don't steal your thunder here.
No, I don't. Not sure where to begin. So if you should be able to at least play around with the Experience Cloud if you have an Enterprise Edition org or above. How you're able, who's able to log into it could be affected based off your licenses. I would at least check if you have the ability to start playing around with the communities. The Experience Cloud Builder, which I showed, is quite powerful, years in the making. As Adam was indicating, Community Cloud's been around for a while. I think around 7 years or so. So I don't think I'm addressing quite how to start. Might have to follow up on some resources for that specifically. But I think the key is that it should be available to most orgs to at least play around with it. And also maybe if you have a sandbox org, a good place to try that.
And I think, Neil, would it be helpful too, if someone wants to use, build a website? Essentially, most community experiences start with selecting from one of our existing templates, right? And we have a build your own template, which may be a good starting point. I don't know if you have a recommendation, but a customer could start with go to setup, communities, all communities, new community, and then select build your own and start building a website right from there. So that's, I would think, one option, or is that?
Yep, no, that's a good point about templates. So yeah, templates, for example, if you have a forums use case or other service use case, if you have a PRM use case, commerce use case. But I'd also want to mention that if you go to the App Exchange and search for both templates, you're going to find templates created by other people, which far expands our out-of-the-box capabilities. So browsing there gets you an idea for multiple use cases and a starting point. The build your own is for complete customization, but to get started, I'd recommend using a template out of the box and then just adding and removing as necessary.
That's a great point.
And Neil, can you repeat again what that search would be?
Bolt templates on the App Exchange.
Bolt templates on the App Exchange, great. Another question, can you deploy B2B commerce as a mobile app? Great question.
I feel like I'm taking all the questions here, but sure. Yes, the short answer is any experience that you build with our Experience Builder. We have a feature capability that went live, I think it was last year, called Mobile Publisher. And it essentially allows you as the customer to easily publish any experience that you've built with Experience Builder to the Google Play and Apple App Stores. And we've seen really strong adoption of that feature. Many of our customers, many of you, have wanted to take like a customer portal that you've built or a PRM portal or B2B commerce storefront and publish that as an app to the Google Play and Apple App Stores. And the way that works is it essentially wraps the content of the experience in a native container, still containing that HTML code. And it's a very fast and cost-effective way to launch these rich experiences to the Apple app and Google Play stores without having to write native code apps from scratch, which costs a lot of money. So this is a great, fast-to-market, effective solution. And we continue to invest heavily in mobile publisher as well.
Yeah, I'd also add to that there's a lot of, because it's a hybrid app, you get a lot of the native capabilities on your phone, which is awesome. Whether it's like Face ID login, push notifications. I think new in this release, which I don't think we had a chance to show, but there's like, there's a menu bar that's specific to the mobile publisher, as well as a barcode scanner. That's something that's coming up. So there's a lot there. It's worth investigating if it's something that you think would be useful for your customers.
Yeah, very cool. We have another question, this one about licenses. Which licenses are required for external managed accounts?
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So just to recap on that, just want to be super clear. So it's really the customer community plus the partner community, as well as if you have a Lightning external app, then the Lightning external app plus license. So those would be the main ones. But if you have any other legacy licenses, feel free to let us know, and we can obviously help clarify whether or not those are also included with external managed accounts.
Great. We have a CMS question that maybe you can take, Neil. Does Salesforce CMS support videos?
So at the moment, we have support videos in a couple places. In the rich text editor, while authoring content, you're able to add a video, and you're able to embed a URL to other video providers such as YouTube, Vimeo, Vidyard. The list is a bit longer than that. We have it documented. So you could add a video in the rich text editor. Alternatively, while working in the experience builder, if you were to use a CMS component, there's a way to display a video instead of, say, a background image. You could have a video displayed within that component. So I want to expand upon that, though, for our future plans. What we don't support at the moment is the ability to, say, upload a video directly to Salesforce and stream it. It's not how Salesforce isn't really designed for such functionality. So to support those use cases and other use cases around digital asset management, we're actually partnering with Binder to be our preferred DAM provider. So if you have more extensive use cases, I would certainly look into them. We've evaluated multiple and think that they will serve a broad amount of use cases, both around image, video support, other use cases such as print for your document management. What to expect? If this is about, I think, a year out, so winter 22, we want to have the ability for DAM providers, Binder will be the first, to integrate their UI within Salesforce CMS. So without having to go to the DAM, say get the URL for something, copy it into CMS, which is available today, and you are able to do that in bulk actually through our import. So if you do have a DAM, you could do a mass import today, but to make it easier for authoring in real time, we want to be able to expose their UI within CMS. Whenever you have to select an image, for example, or video, that you could choose to do it from your computer or from Binder, and not just limited to Binder. If you're used to some of our other Connect functionality, such as Files Connect or CMS Connect, we want to allow a breadth of providers to be able to integrate with CMS through App Exchange packages. So whichever DAM provider, or you yourself could do one if you have a custom solution, if you make an App Exchange package, we want to provide a way to surface your assets within CMS.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that vision. How are the B2B commerce search type head suggestions made? I think this might be for you, Paul.
For type head, yeah, it's a great question. That's actually my feature, so really glad someone's interested in it. So there's really two main sources of that the type head suggestions are drawn from. Okay, so one is the buyer's search history, right? So if the buyer's recently searched for something or frequently searches for something, then that's going to appear higher in the ranking of search suggestions. That's the first. And the second source of suggestions is drawn from popular searches of buyers like you. Okay, so in this instance, you might find buyers in the same account. Whatever they're searching for, that will also that'll be determined through Einstein, but there'll be a recommendation that'll surface through what you see in the type head suggestions drop down.
Great. We have 5 minutes, but I think we could get through more of these. For B2B commerce, can a buyer move all products from their cart to a list and back to the cart again? Is that an option?
Yeah, I can take that one. Yeah, that's actually a brand new feature for Winter 21. Feedback from our B2B commerce customers is that a common use case with B2B commerce, even more so than B2C, is if I'm a buyer and I've put hundreds of items in my cart, and then someone else on my team comes to me and says, hey, can you quickly order this part? It's a really powerful use case to be able to take the content of the cart, push it to a wish list quickly, which frees up the cart, and then the buyer can complete that order, the urgent request to get it ordered quickly, and then can just quickly, from the wish list, put all those same items back in the cart and continue their larger order process. So that's a really new feature for Winter 21, and one that meets a very powerful use case.
Oh yeah, definitely. I could see myself doing that.
There you go.
Can you use record-based targeting to change the display layout of all products within the same category? So for example, if you have a different display layout for products in the coffee bean category.
Yeah, I can take a shot at that. And Neil, if there's anything that you want to add. So the record-based targeting, obviously it's new in this release. It's really based on the fields within a set of different objects, including product and categories and other. Because the way that products and categories are mapped in the data model, there's not a direct way to say, for all products in this category on this product detail page, have a different type of experience. But what Adam was able to show you in the demo is that there are creative ways that you can get a pretty similar experience, whether it's like targeting based on a field, say in the product name, and the example that Adam showed was with the word machine, so that appears in the name, then obviously deliver one type of experience versus a different for everything else. So there are definitely ways of getting around it, but to have a direct mapping from product page to category, that's not currently possible.
Okay, well, at least there are options, it sounds like. How can I move content from my sandbox to my production org? That's a great question.
I'll take that. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about this. So I'm glad to say that we are addressing it, but it's going to be in our upcoming spring release. So at the moment, if you wanted to move content, other than, of course, manually copying it, the way I would suggest doing it in bulk is to kind of do an export through our API to get the contents. And then we have import functionality as well. The thing is that the API format and the import format aren't quite the same. So you'd have to extract it, transform it a bit, and then you can import it. And if you need to do it in mass, that might be easier than manually copying. However, we want to make a complement to export functionality. Again, safe harbor, but planned for spring. And this export functionality will be in the same format of import, directly targeting that use case. So you're in your sandbox, you get your content set up, you export it, you get a zip file. Without any changes to that zip file, you could just import it into your production org, and the content and its references, for example, news that references images. So kind of complex structures will also be replicated.
Oh, that would be great. Hopefully we can see that spring 21, everyone. All right, we are at the top of the hour, so I do want to thank everyone for your questions, for submitting them, and of course, our speakers for answering them. We hope you enjoyed today's session as much as we did, and if we didn't get to your questions live, again, don't worry, we will follow up with you within the next few days. And remember, our webcast will be available on the Salesforce Live website for later viewing. And I do want to remind everyone that we have an Experience Cloud group on our Trailblazer community. So if you haven't already joined that group, that's where all of the conversations are going on. And we're here all week, so please come back, join us for our next session, which will actually be later today for Commerce Cloud. And I can't wait to hear how you're using these features to innovate at your company. So let's keep the conversation going in the release readiness community, where Trailblazers meet to be release ready.